The update to the Fantasy Hockey event has dropped, and we've got a ton of new content to cover, including new marquee cards as well as objectives and collectibles that we can now earn to get another Fantasy Hockey card. Let's get into it. So the fantasy event was dropped on Friday, and it was met with a ton of criticism simply due to the insane cost to make any of the fantasy cards. Regardless if you were someone that spent money or just completely free to play, it really didn't matter. The cost of these cards was just insane. EA has now added Fantasy Hockey Division objectives, where if you complete all of these objectives, you are going to get an additional 16 Fantasy Hockey collectibles, which is an important benchmark in terms of the number of collectibles that you can earn, because it costs 16 Fantasy Hockey collectibles to get a random Fantasy Hockey player that is account bound, meaning that you do get one for free with 16 collectibles to trade in. Now, when you combine it with the other Fantasy Hockey objectives that were released on Friday, you can get an additional 12 from this objective list, giving you 28. And then finally, you can get the additional 4 collectibles needed to get a second account-bound item by doing the final 4 moments. Now, like it was mentioned in EA's tweet, these have been reduced in difficulty. So as you can see, the Taylor Hall moment, the final one, is now an all-star, not superstar. It's also a 2-minute period, not 1-minute period. So they have reduced the extremely difficult objectives. They are going to be challenging. I think for some people, it's not going to be a cakewalk, but they have made it far easier than what it was for anyone that was able to complete them when they were originally launched. Now let's talk about the other sets that were added, because in addition to the random Fantasy Hockey account-bound set, which could be any of the 32 fantasy items, you've got Division Fantasy Hockey sets that you can do, which will cost you 16 collectibles. As you can see, we can now get 32 currently, and you can choose what division you want to get a Fantasy Hockey card from. So there is some risk to it, but for example, if you wanted a card from the Pacific Division, you could shoot your shot, cash in 16 Fantasy Hockey collectibles, and get a card from that division. Now, be warned, you can only do this set once. So, if you wanted 2 shots at a division, then you're going to want to do the random Fantasy Hockey set first to limit your odds of getting a duplicate, and then shoot the shot on the Pacific Division if you wanted a card from that division. Now, I did mention if they improved the Fantasy Hockey event, I would do a ranking. Getting 2 account-bound Fantasy Hockey players is a win. It was the same last year where we were able to get 2 fantasy items for free that were account-bound, and when you compare the 2 that we were able to get last year, because it was a 2-week release, what they did was they split it up. So you had like a 1 in 15 or a 1 in 16 chance because you had to do week 1 or week 2. At least with this now, with the division, you've got a 1 in 8 chance of getting a card you want. So again, it's not perfect, but you can technically currently get 2 Fantasy Hockey player items by just doing the objectives. Now, the biggest issue with the entire event was the insane cost to making these collectibles. And unfortunately, nothing has changed. It is 1580 overall items, and the cost is still absolutely insane. Even if you had 32 of the Fantasy Hockey collectibles, it is still going to cost you close to 200,000 coins to make the remaining Fantasy Hockey collectibles to choose the player that you want. That is simply just too much, in my opinion. Again, coin values in 26 are far different than 25. 200,000 coins in 26 is like 700K in NHL 25. So, again, just they did not address that, and in my opinion, that's a pretty big miss. I had a feeling that they wouldn't touch the sets, and it looks like they are staying the same. But like I said, the 2 account-bound items that they have given us, that is a positive for this event, but it doesn't entirely fix everything. Now, I want to be clear. Because the fantasy event ends right before the start of the regular season, guys, I would not be surprised at all if they release an additional 8 collectibles. So, because there is no rush to making these fantasy cards, hold your collectibles, get all 32, and wait and see if on Wednesday or Friday they come out with either moments or more objectives to give an additional 8 collectibles, because that would not surprise me at all. And that way, if we get 40, you can choose the Fantasy Hockey card that you want to get. And if not, then you can shoot your shot on the account bounds with the 32 that you've got, or spend all of your coins in collection and try and get the one that you want. But do not do them yet. If you do one account bound, you've essentially given up your shot at getting the one you want specifically. So I just want to make that very clear. Now, we've also got some new Hut Marquee player items. And remember, you will need to use the Hut Marquee player items to finish off the Fantasy Hockey objectives. So nothing has changed there. You are going to have to get some of these items. However, these 85s, just like the Check My Game 85 Europeans, they're all going to be great, but you're only going to be able to get them via packs. Now, taking a look at them, the 85 overall Erik Brannstrom, 5'10", 185. The left-handed defenseman has All-Star Send It and Specialist Wheels. 88 speed and excel with 89 agility, so he's got pretty good skating. His shot is in the mid to high 80s. Hand stats are pretty good as well, 89 deking. Defensively, a pretty big liability at 83 defensive awareness and 81 stick checking. He's not particularly big. He does have the Swedish nationality, so he does fit into some of the line combos, but in terms of the 85 Europeans that were released, this is kind of one of the weaker ones. Luca Hollenstein is our goaltender at 5'10". It's still just really not usable. He's got elite post-to-post and specialist recharge, 89 speed, and 85 aggression to try and help with the fact he's only 5'10". If you're a Euro that follows Davos, the team that he plays for, maybe, but you're going to have a heck of a time, especially if you play online. Dennis Malgin, the 85 overall, 5'9", 182 right-handed winger, comes with All-Star No Contest, Specialist Second Wind, interesting X-Factor combo, 90 speed and excel with 88 agility, so he is a good skater. Shot in the mid-80s, hand stats in the high 80s with 88 deking. He is a pure right-handed winger. Really doesn't fit any of the line combos, though. Jesse Pool Party at 85 overall, 6'4", 201, always a great HUD card. He's got All-Star Big Rig and Backhand Beauty with 88 speed, excel, 87 agility, 88 balance, 90 wrist shot and slap shot power, mid-80 shooting. He's a really good right-handed winger. He is from Finland, so he does fit some of the line combinations, especially one of the more popular ones with the 2 Blackhawk, 1 Finn combo. Yannick Rathgeb, the 85 overall right-handed defenseman at 6'1", 194, comes with All-Star Rocket and 1T. I do not believe that these stack in terms of the power increase on the shot. However, with 1T, you will get the skill-based one-timer always open, so you get an additional one, which is kind of interesting. So that's an interesting combo. 85 speed, 84 excel, 85 agility, so a mediocre skater. Does have 85 defensive awareness and 84 body checking, which again is on the lower side of good. The cost is going to be insane, however. And then lastly, we've got the 85 overall Theo Ricchetti, 5'11", 171 with All-Star Tape to Tape, Specialist Elite Edges, 81 speed, 90 excel, 92 agility. Gotta be honest, it's gonna be funny to watch his feet just work absolutely relentlessly, only to just go into a slow glide. That is a crazy stat combo. 88 face-offs, though. I kind of want to try him just to see what it looks like. Now, we also got 8 new Hut Marquee NHLers, highlighted by the 85 overall Kyle Connor. Now, Kyle Connor at 85 overall, the left-handed winger at 6'1", 103, comes with All-Star Elite Edges and Specialist Pressure. Kind of like that combo again. I like the pressure ability if it's the secondary focus of the card, if he has a really good other X factor. 87 speed, 88 excel, and 88 agility is good. He's got 90 accuracy on his slap shot and wrist shot. High 80s for his hand stats. So this is a pretty good card. Next, we've got the 83 Anthony Chiarelli, 6'1", 191. The left-handed center comes with Specialist Unstoppable. 85 speed, 84 excel, and 83 agility. So just kind of mediocre speed. Does have 83 face-offs, but again, this is more of an event card in my opinion, just to try and get objectives done or for trade-ins. Doesn't do anything special. Jonathan Marchessault at 82 overall. The right-handed winger at 5'9", 185 comes with Specialist Big Rig. 85 speed, 86 excel, and 85 agility. Only 77 balance, and he is quite small. Mid-80 shooting and hand stats. Again, just another objective card to try and get the events done. Morgan Geekie is up next at 6'3", 208 with Specialist Quick Draw, 79 face-off. So Quick Draw is going to be important here, but you still need a decent face-off rating. He is big, but only 82 speed, 81 excel. Again, just another card to try and get your objectives done. Even line combos is not really going to make him usable. Max Domi at 81 overall from the Toronto Maple Leafs at 5'10", 209. He comes with Specialist Quick Release, 86 speed and excel, 84 agility, mid-80s shooting. His hand stats are kind of all over the place, low 80s, high 70s. For an 81 overall, he's not bad because he's got 86 speed and excel with Specialist Quick Release. But again, there's probably better options. He can do an interesting line combo because he is a Leaf. If you pair him with a Ranger and an Oiler, as well as 3 Canadians, you can get a really big boost there. We've got Radko Gudas at 6'2", 208. The right-handed defenseman comes with Specialist Hipster, 79 speed and excel. So again, just another event trade-in item. Torrey Krug from the Blues at 5'9", 194. Specialist Elite Edges, 82 speed and excel. 80 body checking, 81 defensive awareness, just another event item. And lastly, we've got the 80 overall Josh Anderson at 6'3", 226, with Specialist Unstoppable, 86 speed, 87 excel at his size, and the fact he's only an 80 overall, there's a lot of teams that could probably use this card. And then lastly, we've got 8 new transaction cards highlighted by the 85 Mason McTavish, who just re-signed. I would anticipate the Kaprizov one is probably going to be a bigger release. I actually could see him being the captain for Team of the Week tomorrow, so I know a lot of people are going to be like, how is it not Kaprizov in the transaction section? They probably have a bigger use for him because he just broke the record for the biggest contract. So Mason McTavish, obviously a very popular card because of the triple duck line. At 6'1", 219, he's got elite quick release and specialist ankle breaker. If you complete that line, he gets up to 86 speed and excel. He's at 84 right now, which is not great, but he does have mid to high 80 shooting. His hand stats are right around the mid 80s. Body checking is great at 87 overall. 84 faceoffs. Again, if you can get this card and put him in the triple duck line, it will be pretty good. Next up, we've got the 84 Cam Fowler at 6'2", 210 with all-star tape-to-tape. 86 speed, excel, and agility with 81 body checking, 83 defensive awareness. Again, there are some line combos that can use Cam Fowler, and this one's pretty good. Vasily Podkolzin from the Oilers at 6'1", 190. He's got specialist truculence, 87 speed, excel, balance, endurance, and 86 agility with 88 shot power. His hand stats are pretty brutal, but he's got 86 body checking. This is a really fun forechecking card. Like, if you paired him with, like, the Tom Wilson from the Chell Week event or another card that has some body checking attributes, things like that, this could actually be pretty fun. Anthony Stolarz at 83 overall at 6'6", 243. He gets Specialist Sponge, 87 speed, 82 aggression, but he is usually a pretty good hut card. We've got Spencer Knight from the Chicago Blackhawks at 6'3", 191 with Specialist dialed in. 78 aggression, which is pretty good, and 87 speed. Wyatt Kaiser from the Blackhawks at 6'1", 173. I swear, you can do an entire theme team of the Blackhawks with event items. It's crazy. Specialist stick 'em up, 84 speed, excel, and agility. Only 77 body checking, however, so kind of tough there, but still usable, I guess, at 80 overall. Alexander Gorgiev, my goodness, I feel bad for the Sabres. At 6'1", he's got Specialist Showstopper, which has proven to be a pretty good ability. 88 speed, but 84 aggression. Hard pass here. And lastly, we've got the 80 overall Donovan Sabrongo at 6'2", 221 with Specialist Warrior, 84 speed, excel, and 83 agility. 84 body checking, and 81 defensive awareness. Again, this is purely for theme team purposes. Now, I know that another thing that was highly talked about is the fact that there was no way to buy a fantasy item in the store like there was last year, and it looks like that has remained the same. There is no guaranteed pack that will give you a fantasy item, which is kind of like another fix that I really thought that we would see, even for an insane amount of coins, like 300,000 or 400,000, even 500,000 like it was last year, I believe. I think that would go a long way because people are trying to acquire these cards, and that would give another option. Not that I'm big on pay to win or anything like that, but at least it gives another option. As it stands right now, there's a collectible bundle where for 195,000 you get 4 collectibles and a greater chance of an 80 overall event. There's just no way to justify getting any of these. Not because it's spending money on packs. It's because, like, you're just not going to get stuff that would even come close to the amount that you're going to spend. So that being said, I will have a fantasy hockey ranking video that goes over kind of the best options based on analytics and my own just personal opinions. I said that I would do that if they did some fixes to the fantasy hockey event. The 2 account-bound items makes it a little bit more interesting because everyone is going to have to make a choice with those instead of just doing the complete random one. But again, I promise you are going to be rewarded if you wait, because either you're going to find out that it's just the 2 account-bound, or if they give you another 8, you get a shot at making one. So just hold as long as you can. I'll see you guys next episode. Have a good one.